Hi, Next Chapter friends. Welcome back and happy February. This week we are going to be reading some books about sound. And I'm going to start with a book called Sound, Shh, Bang, Pop, Boom by Romana Romanishin. Sound. There are a lot of facts in this book. I'm not going to read all of them, so I would encourage you to check it out and learn a little bit more about sound. In the beginning, it may have been quiet. But then it became loud, the universe filled with sounds. Sound is usually invisible, but it attracts our attention. We listen for it, and then we hear it. There are so many different sounds, loud and soft, high and low, familiar and new. In the sea of known and unknown sounds, we look for order and harmony. This is how music is born. There are countless instruments that can be used to create music. Some simple like the drum, others complex like the organ. You can perform solo or make music together with others. We all have our own unique way of sounding. This is our voice. Voices help us communicate and understand those close to us. And with the help of voice, you can also perform a marvel that is called singing. Our bodies perform their own music. They create so many different sounds. What do you think? Can you sniff? There's a bodily sound. Sometimes our joints make cracking sounds when we move. Sometimes we slurp while we drink. Our homes can sometimes sound like a musical instrument, with the clicking and the ringing and the thudding and the slurping and the plink-plonking and the splashing and the water flushing. At home in the city, we hear the loud life around us. Sounds overlay, multiply, and mix together, creating noise. What do you think? Is there a difference between sound and noise? The voice of nature hasn't changed. What we hear is very much what our great-grandparents heard, but it may seem softer because the mechanical sounds are louder, and some animals have become endangered or extinct. So many voices on land, in the air, in the water. Here everyone listens closely to even the slightest rustle. The title of the loudest animal on the planet is contested by the sperm whale that can grow up to 100 feet long and the tiny snapping tiger pistol shrimp that is only 1 to 2 inches long and who, fortunately, makes its gunshot-like sound only underwater. Sometimes it is so quiet that you need to strain to listen, or so loud that your ears are ringing. There are also lots of sounds that we do not hear, but other ears can hear them. Does anybody have a dog? And you know they can hear things that you can't. Sometimes sounds are so beautiful that we want to listen to them over and over again, and for this reason, sound needs to be recorded and preserved. People of sound. Thanks to them, we hear much more and much better. These are all the different people who are people of sound. So we have musicologists and musicians, conductors and singers, composers, sound technicians, and sound designers, all working to improve our sound. In order to understand one another, we speak. We speak in a language. And while some may seem similar, each language sounds different from others. But languages are not just about sounds. You can also understand another person in silence. Does anybody recognize what this is? So it's the American Sign Language alphabet. So if you're deaf and you can't hear, you can still communicate and you can still speak and share a language. Sometimes it's hard for us to understand one another, and then we feel lonely. But one can find common language and understand the other person, even without words. And sometimes we need to spend time in silence. Look at all that noise. Completely turning off the noise. In order to hear the softest sounds. Silence may let you find something you've been seeking for a long time and hear something really important, like the sound of two hearts beating. We hear our first sounds really early. And we begin to search for our own unique sound. Shh. There's a baby practicing their first sounds. And then we learn to listen, to hear, and to perceive our world. And then at the end it says, worth listening to. And it lists all different things that you can look up and listen to. So that you can hear lots of different sounds. So this is our first sound story in our next chapter series. I'm going to share another one in my next video called Too Much Noise. And I'm just going to split up the videos to make it a little bit easier for you guys. You can watch them right in a row or when you have time. So stay tuned for Too Much Noise. And then our third part or third video is going to be a sound experiment. So I hope you will join me for that. See you in a little bit.